Thank you to everyone for being on the call tonight. I am so excited. This is our first team training we've had in a hot second, so I'm really excited to have everybody on tonight. So before I dive into things, I am going to share my screen with you guys. I have a PowerPoint, nothing super fancy, but just some stuff here. So I've been talking to a lot of you guys. Okay, well, first off, let me back up for a second. So my name is Caroline Foster, for those of you who I do not know. I am the mama bear of the upLIFT tribe. So some of you guys are my grandbaby babies, but I'm so thankful that you are here and that you are part of our team. And we are just so excited about all that God is doing right now on this team, and just for all the amazing women that He is bringing together. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a topic that I'm super passionate about. I have a background in marketing, not a background. I work in marketing currently, so it's not in the background yet. But I'm also really passionate about sales. I do enjoy sales. As crazy as that sounds, I know some of you guys are like, wow, you're really crazy, but I like it. I think it's interesting. And so tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about the inviting process, what you guys do. I know that we don't like the word selling. We like to talk about sharing. And yes, that is what it's about. But today we're going to talk about how it really is a numbers game. So we're going to talk about just giving you guys a recipe for success and how to not be sick and tired of this business and trying to invite others to join you. Because here's the deal. I know from experience that if you become super focused or super just pushed down every time that you hear a no, or you go for the ask, or you're building the relationship and it kind of goes south, if you allow those things to define you, it's going to be exhausting, and it's going to be just something that throws you off course every single time. But if you have a recipe for success, then you're not going to be tired of this business, and you're not going to hit that point. So some of the symptoms that you may be experiencing if you're putting too much of a focus, or not really understanding exactly how to go about selling, is that number one, you will be sick and tired of this business and trying to invite others to join you. So if you are at a point in the business where you just feel like you're getting lots of no's, and you're asking me, okay, Caroline, I'm sending these messages, but how do I get to here? If you're at that point in the business and you're not really sure where to go with this, you're going to get sick and tired of it, right? You're going to have missed goals, and you're going to have unpredictable commissions and income. And we don't want that for you guys. We want for you to, have a plan. But the real problem is that a lot of times we sit back and we just kind of wait for things to happen. We think it's just going to fall in our lap, right? We think, well, I'm giving this business over to the Lord. Why isn't anything happening? There's a really great illustration that Jerry Bridges do in The Pursuit of Holiness, where he talks about the farmer. And when the farmer goes out into the field to, plant plants, to sow his plants or his crops, he doesn't just sit down in the dirt and say, all right, God, grow the field. No, he goes out and he plants the seeds, and he waters the seeds, and he puts fertilizer on the seeds, and he checks in on the seeds every single day, and he does the work, right? Now, if he's a Christian farmer, obviously he trusts that God's going to provide, right? He surrenders that, but surrendering that doesn't mean that you just sit back and do nothing, all right? It'd be just like another farmer who owns a milk farm, and he's like, okay, I'm, gonna, raise these cows, but I'm not going to milk them. I'm just going to sit back and, maybe one day he'll come over here and I'll milk him, but I'm not going to go over there and milk him, right? Because that takes work to get up and walk over there and actually milk him. And so he just sits back and waits. No, that's not how it works, right? If you're a farmer and you're trying to grow, corn or strawberries or whatever it is, you got to go out there, you got to plant the seeds, you got to do the work, you got to get up early, you got to grind it out. Now, yes, you surrender your business over to the Lord and you allow Him to work in it, but you can't just expect for things to happen without you showing up. But the problem is that a lot of us don't want to put in the work. a lot of us just want to sit back and hope that the dollar signs are going to somehow show up in our bank accounts, or that the people are going to magically fill out the form, or, like we don't put in the work. We want to just sit back and see results without working. And a lot of times it's really just not us just not doing our part, right? Like, yes, the Lord is going to provide, but you've got to show up. You've got to put in the work too. And so we've got to meet him halfway. And a lot of us just use excuses. We think, we don't have enough time. We're too busy. Our kids are at young ages. We use our seasons of life as an excuse. Now, I'm not saying, like, obviously we need to respect our season, right? There's a difference. There's a difference in using your season as an excuse, and a difference in, saying, okay, I'm in this season of life, I'm going to set my goals a little lower. There's a very big difference there. But if you've got big goals and you want to start seeing those things happen in your business, you've got to quit using these excuses. And a lot of us really, we don't want to put that in the activity to get the accomplishment, right? We want the accomplishment, but we don't want to have to put in the work. And so we want to see the field grow full of the strawberries or the corn, or we want to, have this thriving milk business and, whatever. You guys get the point. But we don't want to put in the work. We want the accomplishment, but not the activity. And we're not focused on the most important things in our businesses, building relationships. So many of us are focused on the shiny stuff. And I'll be first to tell you guys that I did this for so long in my business. I tried to be a blogger. I tried to be, I don't even know, like I would take photos in all these cute clothes. People would send me clothes, like all this stuff. I tried to do all of these things, but those things weren't growing my business. I thought that I needed to have a perfectly put together website, or that I needed to, write 1 million blog posts a week, or that I needed to have an assistant, like all of these things. I thought that when I get to this point, that will be a successful business. But what I realized is that those things are not going to create a successful business. Focusing so much on the shiny stuff is not the answer. The answer is building relationships. Now, will those things help you? Yes. Like having great content on your Instagram, having great photos, having a great website. Those are things that are nice to have, but they're not have to haves. And I think a lot of times as a new coach, we automatically think, well, I've got to have the perfect Instagram name. No, just start. Or we think, I've got to have a blog, or I've got to have a website that looks really good. No, just start. It is all about building relationships, and that's the most important part of this business. So what is the solution? You have to set goals, and not just goals, but big goals. I actually was just on a call right before this with some coaches who are pushing for really big income goals. I feel like I'm looking at the side of the screen because I have this little bar over here, so I'm going to look more in the middle. I was just on a call right before this with some coaches who are pushing for big income goals. And I've been really honest with you guys this whole time about the fact that I have big income goals in my business. I want to be able to eventually quit my full-time job and be at home, right? I want to be able to do this business full-time. So in order to make that happen, I really came to this crossroads in my business. Guys, I am over 4 years into this business. I came to this crossroads, and what I realized is that, number one, I've been way too focused on the shiny stuff. And number two, I was not setting enough big goals in my business. What I was doing is every month saying, oh, I want to hit Success Club 5. And then by, the middle of the month, I hit Success Club 5. And I just kind of sit back and be like, all right, well, wait for next month to come. Don't have anything to invite anybody to. Don't have a challenge group coming up. I guess I'll just hang out. I guess I'll just, not put in the work, not do my power hour. And that hurt me so much, guys. That held me back. And what I realized is if I would have been being as focused as I am now in this business and quit worrying about the shiny stuff, started setting big, scary goals in this business, I would be so much farther along 4 years in. And you have to set big goals. And you don't just need to set big goals. Why is this not working? You need to set big goals for the year, for the month, for the week, but most importantly, daily. So I'll use myself as an example here. A big goal that I have for the year is that I would love to be an elite coach. An elite coach is a very small percentage of coaches in this business. There's a lot of things that go into it. If you want to know more about what gets you to be an elite coach, actually, it's not even being an elite coach, it's about being an elite team. So if we hit elite, that would be a team effort. It's a goal that I have for our team this year, is to be an elite team. So what I have to do is I have to then say, okay, if I want our team to be an elite team, here are my goals for the month. Last month, my goals were that I wanted to hit Success Club 20. I wanted to bring on 10 new coaches. I wanted 6 of my coaches to hit Success Club 5 or 10. And then, I took those monthly goals and those turned into weekly goals. So my weekly goals were that I am, having one-on-ones with all of my new coaches, and I'm having, purpose partner calls with different purpose partners from my team, and I'm connecting new coaches with a purpose partner, and all of these things. So you guys get the point. It became weekly activities that then became daily activities and goals in my business. So for me, if I want that goal, that monthly goal of 10 new coaches on my team a month, then I better be messaging 30 people a day and starting a conversation with them. And then that conversation turns into challengers and potential coaching conversations as well. And so you guys get the point here. It's all these little things that you do on a daily basis that compound into those big yearly goals. And that is so much of this business, guys. If you have not yet read The Compound Effect, it is an amazing, amazing book. Please read it. Basically what it's about is about how this business is a compounding effect, right? Like those daily things that you're doing every single day may seem super unimportant, super small. That power hour that you're doing, that conversation that you're having with that person, those messages that you're sending and getting no replies to. But here's the thing, it compounds, right? Like that turns into the people that you have in your challenge group 6 months from now. And so you have to focus on those daily activities and not get so focused on the bigger goal. So why set goals? First, convert the goal into a daily activity. So how many people per day do I have to see or talk to based on my marketing averages to reach the goal? Transform that daily activity into a controllable activity, and the only activity you can control is the number of contacts you make each day. So basically what this is saying here is that in order for you to be hitting those big goals that you have, you've got to focus on the top contacts that you're making each day. You can control nothing else in this business. So yes, Beachbody's coming out with all these amazing programs. Yes, we've got 2B Mindset this month. Yes, Instagram has algorithms. Yes, Facebook has algorithms. All of those things you can't control. All right? Like you can't control the fact that Beachbody's coming out with a 4-day-a-week program. You might want it to be a 6-day-a-week program, but guess what? It's 4-day-a-week program, and you can't control that. But you know what you can control? Those conversations and those contacts that you are making every single day. That's what you can control. So they call it a law for a reason. So this is a weekly sales activity planning funnel, and this is just for sales in general. So this isn't specific to Beachbody, but I just kind of want to take a look at it tonight. Again, I know we all hate selling, but the whole point of this is to kind of show you how things turn into sales. So let's say first the things that you can control, right? So you've got names of people, you contact them. So we'll use the example here. So, say that there is someone that is in my warm market, and I know that they would probably be a really great coach, okay? So let's use that example. So I've got their name, I've got their phone number. I'm going to send them a text, or I'm going to send them a voice message, or maybe even a video, and say, hey girl, I know this is really random, but I keep thinking about you. I think you would really make an amazing coach. Have you ever thought about becoming a Beachbody coach before? I would love to set up a time to chat with you if you've got time. That person gets back to you, hopefully, and then you can set up an appointment, right? So you set up a time to talk, okay? I hate all these big words, but I'm trying to kind of break this down for you guys. So you set up a time for you guys to talk, and you go to coffee or you jump on the phone. And you're able to really ask them several questions, right? Like they're able to ask you questions. It's kind of like an interview in a way. Like, hey, would this person be a good fit for my team? Is this something they're interested in? You kind of more or less do a sales presentation for them. You talk about, why coaching would be such a great opportunity for them. And then this turns into, a coach on your team who is one of those bigger goals, right? Like if you have a goal of 3 coaches a month, and then your average net commissions per week. So the result is that your income is going to grow. So, obviously I think a better example of this would be a challenger, right? So you have somebody that you are like, hey, she mentioned to me a while ago that she's interested in being my Summer Strong boot camp. You reach out to her, right? Hey, I remember that we talked like 6 months ago about how you might be interested in a boot camp. I just wanted to reach out and see if you might want some info on the Summer Strong boot camp. I'd love to set up a time to chat with you if you have time. Getting on the phone with people as much as possible really, really helps. You turn that into an actual conversation. You're able to talk to her, ask her questions. So tell me about your weight loss goals. What things have you tried in the past? What things have you not tried? What things have worked? What things haven't worked? Ask them questions. Just get to know them. And then you're able to really talk about the boot camp, how it's worked. And this turns into one of those people that's part of your bigger goal. So hopefully this all makes sense. Again, this is something that in the sales world they use a lot, but I think this really equates over into what we do as coaches. I think a lot of times we think of these big scary things like contacts and, sales presentations and all of these things, but dumb it down and it's like, okay, this is literally just a conversation with someone. But it just goes to show you how doing these different steps and how it funnels down into eventually having that challenger as a part of your challenge group. And that's what's going to help you build your business and hit those monthly goals that you have. So a proven formula that they use a lot in the sales world is 10-3-1. And so 10 is kind of like the number of contacts that you're making. So let's say that you set up 10 phone calls. So when I say contacts, I'm not talking about copying and pasting a message. A contact has to truly be someone that it kind of goes from that message thread to, hey, can I get your email and I'll send you information. So you send them information or you jump on the phone with them. That's your 10 people, right? Of those 10 people that you present the coaching opportunity to or the challenge group opportunity to, one person is probably going to say yes. And so if we know this to be true, what if you set your goal, let's just say here, what if you set your goal to 30 people that you message every day? And maybe at first that's just copy and paste and, hey, thanks for following me. Hey, thanks for following me. But those 30 people turn into, 10 people that you start actually having conversation with. Well, then those 10 people potentially turn into one person who actually signs up. So you guys get the formula here. So that's why it's like, hey, if you've got these big scary goals, you've got to set bigger goals daily in order to go through this formula and hopefully hit. Now, this is not science, right? This isn't like, oh, this is fact and this is going to happen. But this is just a formula that's been pretty proven in the sales world. So I want you guys to really think about what track you are running on. One thing that has really stuck out to me as I was sitting back the other day and just talking with Brian and in listening to a lot of leaders who I really, really respect, the biggest difference for me over the past 2 years has been the pack of people that I'm running with. I used to think that I couldn't run hard and set big, scary goals God's way. I thought that setting big, scary goals and pushing myself and really trying to be successful at this thing as a coach meant that, I couldn't, make the ask or, push myself outside of my comfort zone. But what I realized is that is actually the opposite of the truth. And really what it came down to is that I didn't think I could actually do it. And when I changed my mindset and I started thinking, okay, Caroline, what makes you any different from that girl right there on that stage? What makes you any different from the girl who quit her full-time job to stay home with her kids and do her Beachbody business? there is nothing different about that person in me, except for the fact that I got the power of Jesus inside of me, and a lot of those people don't. And so if I know that to be true, I want to surround myself with people who lift me up, who pour into me, who push me to do business God's way, right? Like, I'm not taking my eyes off of that, but I'm also not going to take my foot off the gas. And I think a lot of times we think that we can't do both. But I'm here today to tell you guys that you can. And so much of it is what you focus on. And you become what you focus on, and similar to the people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people who, just kind of sit back and hope that something will fall in their lap. If you're with a purpose partner, I hate to say this, but I've done this before, but if you're with a purpose partner who isn't setting big, scary goals in their business, it's not going to push you to set big, scary goals in your business. If you're with a purpose partner who makes a lot of excuses for why they're not hitting Success Club, you're probably not going to hit Success Club either. You have to surround yourself with people who are going to build you up, who are going to help you push yourself, and remind you along the way that A, you want to do it God's way, but also B, that you're totally capable of it. And I think that's why my business has taken off, because having another leader on this team like Patrice, who she pushes me, she's my purpose partner, even though she's a coach on our team, she pushes me to better myself. Until she came along, I didn't have anybody in here to really be competing with, right? And so having her here helps me push myself, but then she also reminds me to do it God's way. And so you've got to really think about what track you're running on. Are you running with a pack, with a team of people, which yes, you are, because you're part of this team, but allow those people to push you, allow those people to make you better. If you see someone's name on that Success Club board, cheer for them. Tell them that you're so stinking proud of them, because you know how hard it is to get 12 Success Club points, or 10 Success Club points, or 4 Success Club points, or 2 Success Club points. Cheer each other on, but also push yourself to say, hey, if she's got her name up there, why can't my name be up there? And so I think so much of it is pushing yourself to focus on really who you surround yourself with. In focusing on the one thing, there was a really great TED Talk that I listened to, and basically it just talked about this point. Basically, there was this guy, and he went to the University of Florida, and he actually failed. He actually failed out of college at the University of Florida because he was partying way too much. And he literally looked up one day, he had a 1.5 GPA, and they were basically just like, you can't stay here anymore. And so he failed out of college, went back home for a few years, and then decided to try and go to a smaller university. In his first class back, he was chatting with one of the professors, and the professor basically said, if you want to pass this class, the best thing you can do is to get in a study group. And so he's like, okay, well, I'll try to get in a study group because I don't want to fail out of college again. And so he got in a study group, and he said that study group just pushed him so good. It was just a game changer for him. And then, as he went into every class, so he kind of tells a story, and it's really funny because he's hilarious. But basically, at the end of the day, what he said was every class that he then went to, on the first day of class, they went around and introduced themselves or whatever. And he would say, I don't remember his name right now, but hey, I'm John. Really excited about this class. I'm going to be leading a study group. So if anybody wants to jump in, just sign up with me after class. We'll have our first meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He had this full plan. And so every single class, he knew that is what he needed. And so this is actually one of his quotes, but you become what you focus on, and similar to the people you surround yourself with. And so he knew that to be true, right? And so if you're on this call today and you're not plugged in with other coaches on this team, if all you do is check in the Uplift Tribe Facebook page and jump on this weekly call and jump on a call with your upline, I want to urge you to reach out to your upline and say, I want a purpose partner. And we call it purpose partner. Some people call it Success Club partner. We call it purpose partner because we want for you guys to be pushing each other, but we also don't want you to lose focus of your purpose. And that is to change lives. And so, but but what was really cool about this was that he realized that the one thing he was missing all along throughout all of that was people who were positive, who would pour into him. And that's what I love about this team, is that I found people who literally make me better. You know, we all have those people in our life who maybe are a little negative, and we're just like, man, every time I'm around that person, it just drains me. But find a pack, find that coach, find that person you want on your team that's going to push you and make you better. And I promise you, when you do, you're going to be so, so blessed. And then ask someone that's done it. Like, if you are sitting here and you're like, okay, I'm a new coach, I haven't hit Success Club, I want to, Caroline talks about this, or Changing Lives Club, Caroline talks about this, but I don't even really know like what I need to do. Get on there, look at the board that we post that month, find that person, send them a message and say, hey, can I chat with you? I want to know more about how you hit Success Club this month, or how you got your name up there in the Changing Lives Club. If you want to grow this business, you've got to start focusing on surrounding yourself with people who are doing it. And so much of it is just asking someone a question. All right. Another big thing that is really the difference between successful people and mediocre people is really just self-discipline. And I kind of talked about this at the beginning of the call, but so much of this business is really just showing up. So Benjamin Woody says, the ability to tell themselves what they know they should do and then to make themselves do it is truly a major contributor to their success and their superiority. I can't talk tonight. But here's the deal, guys. I really think if at the end of the day, what it all boils down to is this one big thing. I am like honestly crazy disciplined, and I'm not saying that in a way to pat myself on the back. It's nothing that I've done. It's something I legit prayed for. Like, I remember when I first started working out, I was like, Lord, can you just give me discipline today? Because I really want to eat all the carbs and all the donuts. And I really don't want to work out. But God, I know that I want to honor you with my body. And so can you just give me the discipline to find the time to make it happen? Do that in your business, guys. It'll transform it. If you're starting your power hour every day, if you're starting your time in your business without first surrendering it over to Jesus, you need to check yourself. You need to stop, you need to pause, and you need to get back to the root of why you started to do this thing anyway. And you need to say, all right, Lord, I know that at the end of the day, this business is yours, and I am not going to be successful if I do not have you on my team, nor do I want to be successful without you on my team. And so, God, would you give me the discipline today to be consistent, multiply my efforts, multiply my results. God can do more with your power hour than you can with your power hour. And if you don't believe that, just try it for a month and see what happens. But we've got to get to this place where, I don't even like the word self-discipline. I want to say God discipline. But we got to get to a place where we are asking the Lord to give us the discipline to show up and Him show off, because that's what's going to transform your business. I could really stand on a platform and talk about that one for a while, but we're not going to do that. But you got to remember that this is a numbers game. And as much as that's frustrating at times, don't let it be a frustration. Let it be something that excites you. Like, okay, like, I have this big scary goal. How can I get there this month? Take your foot off of the shiny stuff. Focus on the stuff that's really going to move your business forward. Build relationships with people. And the more you ask, the more people you get in your groups. A lot of us are sitting back and we're not asking, and we're just like, man, how does that person do that? But we don't want to ask. You've got to ask. It's not going to bother anybody if you ask. Like, don't ask the same person 20 times, but like, ask, what's it going to hurt? We're all selling something. We're all sharing something. We're all like, if you don't think that's true, go to your local shopping mall, go to your local restaurant. I don't know. You can even go to the local daycare. Every single place you go to, even churches, let's be real. Every church is trying to sell themselves. They're all trying to do these marketing tools to get more people in the door. Everywhere you go, people are trying to sell you something. And so for you to share something that you love, that you're passionate about, that you know works, is totally okay. And I don't know why we have this like horrible view of sales, because we're all selling something at the end of the day. But the more you ask, the more people you'll get in your groups. and use an activity sheet in order to activate the law of large numbers. And so we talked about the law of large numbers earlier in that sales funnel, or I'm sorry, not the sales funnel, but the 10-3-1. So here's the thing. This month in our businesses, we are going to do a little challenge. And I actually think I'm jumping the gun by talking about this because I think it's at the end here. But we're going to do a little challenge, and we are going to weekly be sharing our trackers in the upLIFT tribe of how many people we talk to every single day. It's literally going to be, it can be an Excel spreadsheet, or it can be a Google tracker, however you want to do it. But every week, we want to see every single person you talked to, their name, if they said yes, if they said no, you know, whatever it is, however you keep track of people. I'll share the ways I do. But we want to see that you guys are really tracking these people that you're going for those asks. Because here's the benefits. Yes, you're going to see your income grow, which is great. You're going to be actually excited about this business because it's like Christmas. I cannot tell you guys how awesome it is when I get to kick off a challenge group and add new coaches to my team and get my weekly paycheck. And like Brian keeps track of all my income every week. And he's like, Caroline, you know, you did this and, you know, whatever. And it's like, it's so exhilarating. It's just like the best feeling to know that like I'm bringing that to the table for my family. Like, and that's one step closer to me being able to be home with Emmeline and my future kids. And so it's really exciting. Like that is the benefit of it. When someone joins your team and you're like, oh, this works, you know? But it also greatly reduces the fear of talking to people. If you will push yourself outside of your comfort zone, I'm sure Patrice would say the same thing. The more I talk to people, the more I jump on the phone with people, the more I send people a random little video of me talking about coaching, the more like the less afraid I am. Okay. It reduces that fear in me. And so the more you just push yourself outside of your comfort zone, it's just going to become easier and easier. You'll be focused. You'll know what you're there for. You'll know when you sit down in your power hour, what you came to do. And so many of you are sitting down to work your business and you're like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be working on. But if you will focus on these things, the benefit is that you're going to have a more focused business. You're going to have people to be helping. You're going to have coaches to be talking to. If you'll be continuous in this activity, so you'll always have something going. Like if you are constantly talking to people, you'll always have these conversations going. You'll always have things moving and grooving inside of your business. And you'll have fulfillment. You can enjoy, you know, when you clock out from Beachbody stuff and you go home and you get to enjoy your home life because you just gave your best in your business. And Zig Ziglar talks about this a lot. You will come and you'll be super focused and you'll do these things that I just told you to do. The benefit is that when you come home that night, you're not thinking about all these people and all these goals and you're not overwhelmed knowing that you didn't hit them or, you know, whatever. And you'll have control. You'll be able to say, I hit my Success Club goal. I hit my coach's goal for the month or whatever. Like you'll be able to feel like you have some control over it. And then you'll be able to delegate things as you are able to bring in more income. There's things that you don't enjoy doing in the business. You'll be able to delegate some of those things and get some relief. So those are some of the benefits. But the 3 essential keys are, number 1, you must be a daily activity. So you've got to focus on building relations, and self-obedience will prevent slumps. So if you will show up, if you'll be disciplined in the conversations that you're having, if you will be consistent, that's going to prevent those slumps in your business. I don't have a ton of those slumps anymore because I'm consistent and I'm always building relationships. You know, I think a lot of times we come into this business and we have our warm market and we're so focused on our warm market that we forget to start growing our cold market. And that what you really want to do is you want to be building those relationships so that you're super focused on those people, yes, but you're also super focused on these people too and bringing them into what you're doing. And so you've got to be focused on your warm market while also growing your warm market at the same time. You got to follow up. This is so important, guys. 99% of your prospects will not buy the first time you ask them. Follow up is essential. This is proven in sales over and over again. You've got to follow up with people. Google Streak is a really awesome tool to use in order to follow up with people. That's why if you're not keeping track of the people you're talking to, you're already making a wrong move. You've got to follow up. It's seriously super essential. Um, there's a sales quote that says, call them until they buy or die. And while this is a little extreme, by Don Whitehead, while this is a little extreme, you get the point. Like, don't just give up on people. Don't just sit back and wait. Like, I'm not saying you got to chase after people and drag them by their feet over to you. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, don't give up on people. Like, there may be someone who says no this month, and next month it might be the right time for them. Or maybe it's just that they can't afford the challenge pack. Sell on Beachbody On Demand for a year. Fun facts, guys. With Beachbody On Demand for a year, you make $35, okay? With a challenge pack, you make between $40 and $50. So sometimes we're so focused on the challenge pack, which, yes, is the important part of a challenge group. But if they buy Beachbody On Demand for a year, plug them into your graduates group or your community group or your virtual gym or whatever you want to call it. Sorry, hang on, guys. 1 second. Somebody got unmuted. But yeah, plug them into whatever that is, so that way you're not just letting them go, right? Like, those things are what's going to continue to grow your business. And then obviously, lastly, but most importantly, commit your plans to the Lord. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do and your plans will succeed. Now remember, succeed, God's definition of succeed might be different than what your definition of succeed is. But if you will give your best, if you will show up and stop, just chilling, waiting for people to come to you, and really commit this business over to Him, I promise you He is going to show up. I've seen it myself. I've seen Him multiply this in ways that I never thought He would. But God's timing is always perfect. And we just have to be content in what He's put in front of us right now. And that is it. So I hope this was helpful and wasn't too complicated. I know I used a lot of like salesy terms for you guys tonight, but hopefully it was beneficial and you guys got a lot out of it. I would love to take questions from anyone. If anyone has any questions for me tonight. I think there's a chat box. Yes, 100%. Anybody have any questions? You can drop them in the chat box if you don't want to unmute yourself, or you can unmute yourself and ask whatever. It doesn't even have to be about tonight's call if you don't want it to be. Awesome. Well, I will post this recording, but just a reminder for our action items. So every Friday I will do a post over this month of June and basically ask you guys just to share your trackers. Again, this is not about, just a numbers, like, I guess it's a numbers game, but like, it's not just about like making you do something that you don't want to do or whatever. It's really about holding you accountable to the goals that you told us that you had on that Getting Started Right call. And we know that in order for you to hit those goals, you've got to be connecting with people. Can you share a timeline from when you connect with someone to when you invite them? A few days, weeks, and months? So honestly, Aaron, I know people don't like this answer because it's vague. And I owe you guys some examples of what my conversations look like. But every conversation is just different, honestly. There's a girl I was talking to just the other day, and she has never done Beachbody products before. She knows nothing about Beachbody. And I said, well, let's jump on the phone. We talked. She decided maybe she'd be a challenger. For her, this conversation has been a whole lot longer than somebody who comes to me and says, we're talking and they're like, oh yeah, I've done P90X and this or that. And yeah, oh, I didn't even know Beachbody On Demand existed. Yeah, like I'd love info on the challenge group. Like so many of the conversations are just so different that it's hard to say, like, I don't have a like set, like, okay, I sent them a conversation today and thanked them for pressing follow. And now today I'm going to talk to them about this. And then tomorrow I'm going to invite them to challenge group. Like, I don't have this like set, like, okay, it's been 2 weeks now, I invite them. For me, it's about filling out the conversation. Like, I talk to people just like I talk to you guys. Like, I ask a lot of questions because I'm Southern and that's what we do. We're super nosy. But I ask people a lot of questions. I don't like surface level relationships. So I'm like, tell me about your mom and your grandma and, you know, everybody. But I ask a lot of questions. I'm like, oh, so like, how old's your little boy and how old's dad and whatever. And like, sometimes it may not even feel appropriate to be like, hey, I'm starting this boot camp. Sometimes I just let the conversation go and I don't even like invite them immediately. And then all of a sudden I see them pop up that they commented that they're interested in the challenge group or whatever. Or maybe I did invite them, but the time wasn't right. So I think a lot of it, like as silly as it sounds, I really am a firm believer that if I'm going to the Lord and I'm praying about it and I'm like, all right, God, I need you to open my eyes, help me see the people I should invite today. I mean, that's what I ask him to do. And if I don't feel a peace about inviting them, then I don't. And if I feel like a tug at my heart, like, hey, this girl might need this, then I do. And I mean, if you tell somebody that God put them on your heart, then I mean, that's for them to deal with God about, I guess. Most people aren't going to be like, oh, God did not put me on your heart, you know, whatever. But I mean, just making it, obviously it needs to come from an authentic place, not just a marketing tool. But you know, if I'm praying about it and God put them on my heart, then like if they say no, whatever. So what do you say when someone follows you back? Just hi, thanks for the follow. So I will read you exactly what I say back. So I just have something that I like wrote out and then I just copy and paste it to the people. And then I'm going to wrap up. I'm sorry, Patrice. Patrice is falling asleep. It's 10 o'clock her time. Okay, let me read this really quick and then we'll wrap. Sorry, guys. I have a lot of messages on here. So, hang on. Sorry, I get so many messages.
Not me. I'm a late owl, but there's a lot of early birds on here.
No, you're good. So basically, this is what I typically send people. Hi, Courtney. I just wanted to thank you for following me and showing your support. It really means so much. Praying God uses this platform in your life. So that's what I send. I'll copy and send that to you, Jasmine. But that's what I send. I would just say like make it your own. But to me, I heard someone say this one time. Never take for granted the fact that someone pressed follow on your Instagram account and they allowed you into their feed. I think it's really important to not forget that. And so I just try to thank them and for just even supporting my, you know, business in general. So, all right, guys. Well, I will post this recording for you, but I hope you all have a great evening. Thanks so much for being on the call, and we will talk soon. Bye.